Hello everyone. Today I haven't got any new projects to show you. I'm not going to be showing you any tutorial. I'm just here today to answer a question I get asked a lot. Now if you've been following my channel, you'll know I often use items from CoolKatz crafts. So their website coolkatzcraft.com. And Maggie and Kay, the owners of CoolKatz, have come up with some amazing dies for scrapbooking. So today, I'm going to be going through some of my favourite dies. My top 5, so to say. Because everyone asks me, there's so many dies, where do I begin? So I thought I'd go through my top 5, what I consider worthwhile buys, things that I use a lot, and show you how I've used them as well. So if you have a look, so I tipped my iPad. At the top, we've got CoolKatz Cuts dies. And you can see there are loads and loads and loads of options. So I'll go through and pick out my favourites. Some of them you'll probably be able to guess already. Some of them you'll think, why have I chosen that? But I'll explain all. So, are you ready to find out what I've got in my list? Let's find out. So at number 5, I've got a whisker die. Now the whiskers are where my CoolKatz journey started. I saw them on TV demonstrating the different things you could do with a whisker die. Now they're called whiskers because they're cat whiskers going off either way. So we've got walrus whiskers, I think it's mandarin whiskers, Victorian whiskers, and these were where I think the CoolKatz started as well. And the CoolKatz whisker dies are like edger dies, border edger dies. But what's different about the CoolKatz ones is, so see if we can get it in focus. Can you see there's a little notch there and here? That's actually telling us where the blade is, so the central point there, and where the middle of our die is. So if you've got some cardstock and you want to put it, just going to cut the edge, you can actually line up those notches with the edge of your cardstock to get it that way. You can line them up that way to have like an edge die, and then just use your trimmer that way. So those little notches are such a tiny little detail, but they actually make these dies so easy to use. So actually the walrus dies were my first ever dies from CoolKatz. So these were the first 3 original ones. I'm going to show you then what happened next. So if you choose one of those dies, whichever is your favourite, and you can use them on their own. But once you've got one of your whisker dies, you can then start adding to it using the same shape. So if you're making an album, you'd have the same pattern of theme going all the way through. So once you've got your whisker die, as I said, you can use it on the edge. You could use it in your pockets on your albums to give a decorative edge. And then you can use the lower one to do a matte and layer then from your paper. And I've got tutorials where I've done that on my YouTube channel, so have a look for them. You could use them as tags, tops for your tags. So there's loads of different ways you can use your walrus whisker. So my suggestion as number 5 would be get hold of a whisker set. And you can do loads of things with them. Oh, belly bands. You could make a decorative belly band by flipping it round and everything there. But once you've got one, what you can then do is build a collection around it. So you can buy tag shapes with the same whisker shape. You can buy then a belly band to match with decorative top. You can see how well these are. I've got tape on them. So I grab them and use them. Mat and layer for your belly band. So you can create them yourselves using your whisker, but if you're strapped for cash and your budget isn't going to go as far as buying everything, just start with your whisker and you can do this. It's just once you've got that, these sort of things will make life a lot easier. So yeah, a whisker die would be my first. Sorry, the first three I showed you were the originals. This was the Batwing. I think this is one of my favourite ones. So the Batwing whisker set. So what you'd be looking for is, you can see the walrus whisker die set there. So you get 8 dies in the walrus one, but you can then buy the belly band and the tags and the walrus together if you've got a larger budget, or you just want to get it all in one go, like I think I did as well. I think I got one bundle and then just built some other whiskers around it. So let's see if we can find the Batwings. Oh, there's the Mexican whisker. You can see the flip-flap die, the small ones, a belly band to match. So once you've got your one whisker shape, you can really go to town building around it then. And there we go. There's the Batwing whisker. You can buy then add on with the tags and the belly band, or as I said, you can just go straight for the entire bundle. So that's number 5, a whisker set. So in at number 4, we have the photo wallet die set. Now the reason this isn't higher with me is because it's very new and I haven't used as much yet, but I know it's going to be used a lot in the future. Depending when you're watching this video, you'll find either there's a video tutorial on how I put it together already up, or it'll be coming soon, depending when you're watching, like as I said. So the photo wallet die set, as I said, it's quite new, so I haven't used it much, but it's great because it's a standalone die set, or it can be incorporated into your albums. And when I say it's big, I mean this is big. This is the entire length of A4. And the idea with a photo wallet is it'll fold up to make a little pocket to hold some photos. So this is your top, then you've got your middle, and it even folds with a little tuck spot. So you don't need magnets or anything like that, or Velcro. Your top will just tuck under that. So it cuts everything for you, literally does everything. And then you can just have it as a no photo wallet. I said you can tuck it into a pocket in an album. And you're thinking, well, what's it going to do then? So you cut out your base, and then you've got this that will cut out your mat and layer for your cover. It's even going to cut out the slot to go around your hole for your tuck space. And then it'll cut out a mat and layer for your 6x4 photos with curved slots to tuck your photos in. So you don't even need to glue your photos in. You can put them in and take them out as well. And then another mat and layer just for the top there. Yeah, so number 4 is the photo wallet die, because how versatile it is to make a little quick project on its own, or that you can incorporate it into your albums. This die is a little envelope die, little policy envelope one that the CoolKatz brought out. And actually this isn't number 3 on my list, but the policy die, envelope die, came with these dies, the closure dies, in 3 different sizes. They just cut a circle with a little hole in the middle. And that I thought was just genius, because I'd made closures before where you wrap the cord around using circle punches, but getting that middle was so tricky that they always looked off. So these, then I started using loads and loads and loads. So if we have a look at this, in this album, I've used them to make a closure with 4 circles, and then the cord goes around in a nice sort of diagonal. But the way I use them is I stack them up to make them thicker, and then I've got another one on the base. You'll have seen me do that in quite a few of my tutorials already. The only problem was that for each pair, I needed to cut 6 of these and then the layers on top. It's not how Maggie and Kay envisaged them being used, but that's how I did it. So I did pester, I did nag, and Kay and Maggie will testify to that. I nagged and nagged and nagged, and in the end, I did get my way with them, and they've brought out a folio. It's flipped again. The folio strip die set. So we got the same 3 sizes, but this time they cut out 6 at a time. So 1 pass through will give me enough to make that double closure. So if on that corset page you just saw, you wanted the 2 that side and 2 that side, just pass it through twice rather than have to send it through multiple times with these individual ones. So yeah, thank you Kay and Maggie for bringing out these folio strip die sets, because it saved me a ton of time, especially when I did the corset ones. You might have seen in the past in some of my walkthroughs where I had 3 sets of them and the cord went sort of zigzagging round. It was taking me quite a long time with these. It was worth it, but these were a mega time saver. And the great thing about making a closure with these is, if you've forgotten to put your magnets or something in, these can be added on after you decorate your pages. So have a look through my albums and you'll see where I've used my cord closures to make, so that's the small one. I've used them on this page again, and I've used, so this is a mini corset page because I've only used 2 lots, but in other ones I've used 3 lots, another pair in the middle, so your cord makes it look like you're stringing up a corset. And look, I've used them here just as a single one. Let me zoom out a little bit for you to see. Just a single one here. So there are multiple ways you can use these closures. And as I said, they go on top of your decorative paper, so you can just do them as finishing touches at the end. Yeah, so number 3 are my folio strip dies. Although if you wanted to get a bonus one, you could go for the folio envelope instead and just have individual circle dies. So at number 2 is another small die set. Let's have a look at them nice close. It's 3 different closures. And if we look on the website, here we are. They're called the Clever Closures Brad Flaps. So what we've got are 3 different shapes with room to put brads. Now I've used them with brads, and I've also used them as faux brads by putting pearls on top. And what they do is they offer you a little flap which you can tuck and use as a closure. So let's have a look at a couple of the albums I've done. Now, although they were designed for brads, mine here don't use brads. Those are actually 2 black pearls stuck over the holes to make them look like brads, so they lie nice and flat. And underneath here is room for a magnet. So I've used it on this page. Let's zoom out a little bit then. as a little tuck spot. So there's a magnet here, and because of those piercing, they hinge, and you can tuck in a little tag or whatever you want, or a photo, straight in underneath. So that's a little tuck spot with them. Then I think on the front, I've actually just glued a couple of them back to back. I think I put 3, and it's actually made a nice tab. Because the pierced bit is here and it's not waving over the edge, it's actually really sturdy. And again, I've just put some pearls on just to finish off where those holes for the brads were. So it just looks like it's held with brads, but it's not. So that's a tab. That's the tuck spot. But as I said, they were designed as closures. So let's have a look at this album. And let's open it up. Here it goes. There's a magnet behind the closure here. So when I close it, it clips behind. So you just put your magnet behind the paper here, add a magnet there, and it's a nice closure. Oh, here we are again. I've used it as one of those little tuck spots. And I think I used it in my Lost in Paradise album as well. Here we are. This is how they were designed originally. So I can open it up. There's my pocket. And it shuts with the magnets again. So yeah, these are number 2 with me, because I do use them in pretty much every album I do, because I just love how they look and the closures. Oh, there's a whisker, well, the belly band that matches. Oh, here's the whisker dies I was going to show you from number 5. There's the walrus whisker made into a pocket. And here they are again. So yeah, they're number 2 because I just find them such a lovely finishing touch. Rather than just having magnets under the flaps, I think they just add that extra little bit of detail. And the fact I can use them in more than one way by making tabs and making tuck places, I think that just makes such a simple idea so versatile. So number 2, clever closures, the brad flaps. So at number 1, my most used CoolKatz dies. A bit of history first of how they came about. Right back in the beginning, the CoolKatz brought out these dies. So these were their photo slot dies. And there's no outer edge to them. You just put it onto your paper and it cut some slots in there, and you can add a smaller one as well. So there were 6x4 and I think 4x3 photos, and they just cut into your paper. And then they brought out a newer, improved version, which was called their curved photo slots, and that's what I've used here. So it's a little die which cuts curves into your paper. And in the newer versions, you also got a die which cut a photo mat to fit inside there, and also fitted your photos on. So their biggest one fitted the graphic 45 cards perfectly. So as you can see, you can't really see anything there, but there's little slots then. You could put your photos in without having to glue, so you could change them or leave them empty if you wanted to see the papers, and they were brilliant. But they were small, which was great, and I used them loads. This was their Ocean Blue album, which I followed, and you can't see, but there's photo slots here for a little rectangle. There's 2 square ones there. Let's have a look. Yeah, here are the rectangles. So they were great for little small photos. But again, I pestered and begged and asked, please, 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 can we have standard size photo ones. And eventually they gave in and we got this set. So this set is the photo slots curved large set, and it comes with 6 dies. And the best thing was, they're not just large, they fit your standard photos. So here they are, the photo slots curved large set 2. So when we open it up, you can see you get 6 dies, and they create and cut for your 7x5, your 6x4 and 4x4 photos. So here we are. You get a die which cuts those little 4 curves in the corner into your paper. So when you've got your album, especially with like your graphic 45 and your Stampin' and you don't hide it at the start, you just cut your photo corner in and you can really see the pattern. But then you can also add your photo and take it out. Then you can add a photo mat. So that's your 4x4. So if you're an Instagrammer, you'll know all your photos come in squares now, so you get a 4x4. Your standard 6x4, which I think is what most people would end up printing. Again, you get your curved slot and you get your matte and layer, and then a 5x7 one. So these are fab then, just for having your standard sizes. So here you can see my 6x4 photo mat. My paper on my page looks lovely like that. And then I can put my photo onto that mat, or take that out and just put the photo straight in. And again, I've got another one on the back. So a recipient who's not an album maker will be able to put their photos straight in to your album. Here they are with the graphic 45 cards. So that's the original photo slot. So you can see how the smaller ones were. I think that was one of the original ones as well. So I've got the small ones to fit smaller spaces, but the fact that we've got these standard sized ones is brilliant. So there we go. For those of you who have asked me in the past, which CoolKatz dies would you recommend? These would be my number 1, but equally the top 5 would give you a nice comprehensive kit, because you'd have your edges, you'd have your closures, you'd have your photo places all set out, all ready to go. So if you haven't been over yet, head on over to CoolKatzcraft.com and have a look through their website, through their die collection, but also plenty more album making and MDF projects. So if you're into your box making or just general MDF projects, they've got a ton of ideas there for decoration. There are the boxes. Actually working on one of them at the moment. A little sneak peek. ATC boxes, those look fab. The carousels. But what they've also got are Arca tape and Tiger tape, brilliant for albums. But yeah, today's video was highlighting which CoolKatz cuts dies would I recommend. So hope you've enjoyed. Give me that thumbs up. Head over to the CoolKatz and also have a look at their YouTube channel. Loads and loads and loads of tutorials there for you to enjoy too. So have fun and go and enjoy their website.